Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful, basically this is going to be this reading that I'm going to be telling you about. Basically it's going to be a quick to the point, no clarification, but probably is. But the point being is that in this, remember this whole entire reading, I'm just going to tell you all, is that this is going to be based on how you can understand about how you can believe on how you're doing and how you're feeling, how you can do that. So you have your own responses and your abilities from the right and wrong perspective, whether you're having a good day, whether you're having a good decision making, but the way of how this is, the way of how everything is going to be all, shit shape and everything else, you have to determine about how it's going to be. You have to determine the winner. You have to determine about who's going to lose, who's going to win, you have all these things. And the basic formula in this whole entire situation, whether you need to be quick to the point of how everything is, you have to have that basic lay and say, alright, well, I know what to do, I got this, I can do it, I can do whatever you want. And this is why this is going to be a tarot reading, just to make sure. But the point being is that in this remarkable reading, I just want to tell you all that this is just how basic it is. This is the way it happens. This is the way of how you can navigate your own desires, your own wisdom. That's the way it goes, right? Because you have to use your own gut feelings. So you have that way where if something is good, you're following it. If something is bad, don't do it. Right? That's the way it goes. But the way of how this is, the way of how this is going to be very interesting, you need to pay attention. You need to do exactly from the right and wrong perspective. That's the way it goes, right? So you need to understand that, alright, well, you know what to do, I got it, but this is the way it seems to be. You have to do what you can, because this is not going to be like a turnover point. It's not that. But give it time, give it responsibilities, give it the way of how this is, and you have to believe that. You have to be on that point of this whole entire desire. So this is how it is. But I'm going to read you this oracle card. It says, Lonely-Ness. I know that I am never alone. When you have loneliness, basically when you're feeling alone, and when you have no support, or when you're feeling lonely, or when you're feeling sad, or when you're feeling whimpering, and you're feeling like why I'm having loneliness, because it's basically how it is. It's not from the right and wrong perspective. It's basically where you might think that, okay, well, nothing's going to be going wrong, or nothing's going to be going right. It could be going wrong, And when you have the desire of having loneliness does strike you. It gives you that point. It gives you the way of urge, the way it seems to be. And you think, okay, well, this is not going to happen. This is not going to end well. No, but necessary that this is the way it goes. Where when you have loneliness, it basically like provides you what you're based on. This is the way of how it is, where you have reality. And when you get yourself in that reality check, you have to pay attention to it. So when you have loneliness, when you are having that, it's like why I'm feeling alone, why I'm not feeling happy, why I don't feel any supportive, whatever, or why I'm not getting along. Because when you have loneliness, it's basically you want to feel alone. You want to say that. Like if someone was saying to me, leave me alone, or whatever it is, just for example, then I would leave them alone because it will give them loneliness. Get it? Right? That's just the example. But you know what I mean. That's what it seems to be. So you have to pay attention to whether this is the way it kind of goes. So this is the way of how this is going to be doing. And this is the way it kind of is in this format, because this is just the reading of how it is. So this could be a desire of how things are going to be looking at from a different perspective, and then you think that how it is. So if you're saying, well, I'm going to be doing one tarot card reading, one card, then I'm going to clarify with the other cards. So this is the way it goes. So this is just a quick reading, and it's going to be very quick, very easy, very how it is in one way or another. And you think, okay, well, this is going to be the way it kind of looks based on, and whether you have your own abilities from how you can do it, how you can believe it, how it's going to be. And when it is, you have to pay attention to the right exact moment of, how you're feeling, how it is, right, in one way or another, right? So it's based on that oracle card that I just told you about loneliness. So this is the way it goes, and this is how it is. So here we go. Let's begin. So basically, in this format about this whole entire reading, about, this is the way it kind of looks, and is based on where you have that sympathy of having loneliness. It's based on that desires about what's going on in that way of having that control of that, sensibility of having loneliness. That's the way it kind of goes. Because when you have loneliness, you think, okay, well, this is kind of it is. So this card represents transformation. Everything is going to be transforming. And you think, okay, this is the way of how I can do it. This is the way how I can master my own abilities from the right and wrong perspective. Now, this is going to be a drawing to the point where this is going to be very interesting, very, how very conceding with that caution about the ability from that right and wrong perspective, right? And when you think about that, you think that, okay, well, this is how it's going to be based on. This is how I need to do what I need to do, right? And that's why it's kind of based on that, because you have to think about what's going on in that moment. You have to do what you can and, do what you need to do. And you think, okay, well, this is the way I need to do that, right? So you have to believe that you have to have your own sympathy of knowing from the right and wrong perspective in one way or another. So I want to clarify, and I'll do a 3-card reading because I need to understand what's happening. And I'm going to look from the left side to the right, to the middle side to the right side, using this one card to do it, right? So this is going to be very interesting. So if I look at the middle, I can clarify the middle, but I can clarify the left side. So I'm going to clarify it. So 9 of Wands is upright, 6 of Swords reversed, Page of Swords reversed. So there is no movement and there is no education, okay? The 9 of Wands does represent fear, so it does represent Leo, Aries, Sagittarius as the zodiac sign, as fire signs. And that's the way it goes. And, that's the way it kind of where it feels like. That's the way it goes. I'm going to clarify the Page of Swords. The 10 of Wands reversed, so there's no burdens. 4 of Swords reversed, there's no cooperation. But 6 of Pentacles is upright because you want to have kindness. You want to interact of having, the way it goes where you can be who you are, be you when you have sensitivity from your own strengths, your weaknesses, your abilities. And this is the way of how you can have the active movement, the active, the ability from the right and wrong perspective. That's the way it goes. When you have the creativity about having your own kindness and the way of how it is, you have to believe that you can do it. That's the way it goes, right? So when you have your own independence, or when you show your some respect, when you have loneliness, it's based on where you have to do exactly what you are representing, right? That's the way it kind of looks. So that's what it seems to be. So that's what on the left side is. Now on the right side, 3 of Wands is upright, 2 of Cups reversed, 3 of Cups reversed. So basically, the 2 of Cups represents there's no relationships. 3 of Cups reversed, there's no excitement. 3 of Wands is upright, there's communication. So when you have communication, you're going to communicate. That's the main drag of it. That's the way it goes. Now I'm going to clarify between the 2 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. Because the star is upright, because there is inspiration. Yeah, you want to wish upon a star. You want to do that, right? That's the way it goes. I'm not going to sing the Wishing Upon a Star song. I'm not going to do that. But the point being is that in that way, this is the way of how it goes. I'm not doing a lecture or whatever it is. But this is just the way it is in that practical representing the situation. This is the way of how it kind of is. You have to have a pro and, how you can compromise and everything else, right? you have to have the compromise, the contrast. You have all these things are going to be representing that. What's in the middle of this situation? Queen of Wands reversed, the Magician reversed, but the Nine of Cups is upright because it does represent fulfillment. Everything is fulfilled. So you could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio as a water sign. You can deal with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. You can deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius as fire signs as well as zodiac signs. That's the way it kind of introduces this main length of how it is, right? So you can see that this is just like a wonderful way of picturing it, right? That's the way it seems to be. So this is the way of how this reading is going to go. So we're kind of getting through what's happening in this situation here. But the way of how this is, and the way of how it kind of proceeds, you have to have that ability from that knowing that, okay, well, I know what to do, I got this, but then it's like, what's beyond that point? So I'm going to see what's happening on the left side, and then I'm going to clarify on the right side, and then the middle last. So the King of Wands is upright, followed by the Eight of Pentacles is upright, followed by the Emperor is upright. So you want to have structure. You want the things are moving along. That's the way it goes. The Hangman reverse, there's no restrictions, but the Six of Wands is upright, where you want to have celebration. So when you have celebration, you want to celebrate. You want to do things. You want to make things happen. That's the way it goes, right? That's the way of how it is, to where you have your own sensibility from the right and wrong, and you do what you can. That's the way it kind of goes, right? This is like almost like a main drag situation, but this is not a main drag. This is not the way it goes. But you need to pay attention on what's going on, right? What's going on from the right side? So the Sun card is upright, so there's positivity. The world reversed, there's incompletion. Ten of Pentacles reversed. Magician reversed. Five of Cups reversed. The Judgment reversed. But the King of Pentacles is upright. So you could be like a working person in one way or another. You have positivity. That's the main start. That's the way it goes. So you can have Leo as a fire sign in your zodiac sign chart. That's the way it goes. What's happening in the middle? The Ace of Pentacles reversed. Seven of Cups reversed. Followed by the Eight of Wands is upright. So you want to have basically, you want speed, right? You want things to be happening in that short and sweet perspective. You want things to be how everything is, right? You like representing. Everything will be all great, but then it's like, well, this is the manner of time. This is the manner of respect. This is the manner of how I can face my own fears, face my own, how I can do it, how I can do what I can. That's the way it goes. So in the Oracle cards, I'm going to see what's happening in this situation. So I'm going to figure out what's going on, right? Because it was happening from one card, but then there was a lot of happening in this perspective. So let's see what's happening on the left side, the middle, and the right. So let's see. On the left side, the Desert Prince, survival, false promises. Yeah, so you could be in survival mode. That's the way it goes. Whenever you watch that show, Survivor, that's the way it goes, right? Because when I was watching the show about Survivor, it's like, well, where people are kind of surviving on an island, and they have to face their own strategies, right, for finding food and having competition, whatever it is, right? And that's how it is. So when you are in survivor mode, as it is, that's the way it kind of looks, right? So when it's based on that, that's the way it goes in that circumstance. So this could be a masculine situation in one way or another. Okay. In the middle, you have the Ice Queen. Ideals perceived, non-action, entitlement. That's the way it needs to be in that fragment of how it is. And you need to believe that you can do that. If it's a non-action, if it's just the way it needs to be, this is the way how you can understand of how you can do it. And when you have your own sensibilities from the right and wrong perspective, that's the way it goes. That's the way it happens. And in this way, this is the way it goes, where you have to be beyond that situation. So this could be a feminine situation as a woman's situation. That's the way it kind of goes in that format. And what's happening on the right side? The Dragon's Duel. Inner conflict, morality, conscious choice. Yeah, it could be that, where you might have inner conflict. Maybe you're not going to let it go. Maybe you're going to pay attention on what's happening, where you need to focus on your abilities, from why I'm feeling loneliness, why I'm feeling like this, because that's the way it goes, where you have to beyond that point where you could be dueling out about feeling loneliness or whatever. It's basically beyond that point where, okay, well, things will go in that satisfaction. Then when you believe it, that's the way it kind of goes in that way, right? So that's the way it needs to be, right? Now I'm going to see what's going on from the universe. So I'm going to go from the left side to the middle to the right. And what's the universe saying? So I'll do one card. So we have the Five Pentacles separates for insecurity. Page of Cups separates, there's loyalty. And there's an Ace of Swords reverse, there's a misunderstanding. So that's the way it goes. So let's clarify the Five Pentacles for security. So I'll do two card reading for this. So you have 10 Cups, 10 Pentacles reverse. That means that you have no wealth, and the Ten of Swords is right where you have conclusions. You have all these conclusions. It's like, why I don't have money, why I don't have this, why I don't have that. Because when you're feeling loneliness, you're doing other things, right? You're trying to act like there's nothing going to happen. But that's the way it goes, right? So when you have feeling insecurity and having conclusions, when you have no money, it's like, why it's affecting me, why it's affecting all this, that's the way it goes, right? So you have to pay attention from that perspective in many ways, and many conjunctions in the way it goes, and this is the way it could be. So you could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius as air signs. You could deal with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus as earth signs. That's the way it goes on the left side. In the middle, you have loyalty. So it does represent Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio as water signs. But the way of how this is, I'm going to clarify the two cards. So 3 wands reverse, there's no communication. Just as upright where you're telling the truth. That's the way it goes. Where you have loyalty, telling the truth, that's the way it goes. But when you have no communication, you're not going to communicate. Because something was kind of offline. It's like, why that this is hope? Why I'm feeling like this? Why I'm having no fear? Or when I have fear? It's like, why? So you have to figure out what the 5 W's is. Who, what, where, when, why in that situation. That's the way it goes. What's happening with this 3 wands here? Each man goes reverse, so there's no growth. The tower is upright, there's transformation. I just said that earlier, right? So this is beyond that point where everything is going to be transforming. Everything is going to change in that perspective where you will communicate. You will do what you're told to do. And when it's based on that, you have to think, okay, well, this is the way it needs to be. This is how I can do it. This is how I can relate this positivity. That's the way it needs to be. Because when you do that, you think, okay, this is the way I need to do it. But then this is the way it needs to be beyond that point. That's the way it goes. Where you don't want to let it go. You want to be on that point. And this is how it is. Now, not over yet. We have the Ace of Swords reverse, means that there's a misunderstanding. There is a misunderstanding here. There is. But this is the way it kind of goes in that way. So I'm going to clarify the Ace of Swords. So 6 of Wands, there's no achievement. 2 Swords separate there. You are in the crossroads. You don't know which direction you're going to take, left or right. But you have to make your own decisions in that perspective way. That's the way it goes, and that's the way it seems to be. What's beyond the Six of Wands here. The Queen of Swords reversed, there's no independence. Oh wow. The Strength card reversed, no, there's no bravery. King of Pentacles reversed, there's no security. Queen of Wands reversed, there's no charisma. Ace of Cups is right, there's satisfaction. You're having satisfaction because that's the way it goes, and you think that everything's fine, but then it's like, no, it's not. That's the way it kind of is in that moment, and this is the way it kind of seems to be in that perfectly timing of how it is. What's between this Two of Swords here? The Seven of Swords reversed, you're not feeling deceit. Five of Cups reversed, there's no grief. Ten of Wands reversed, there's no burdens. Nine of Cups is upright, there's fulfillment. Yeah, everything is fulfilled. That's the way it goes. Nine of Swords reversed, there's no trauma. Three of Cups reversed, there's no celebration. Six of Cups reversed, there's no, basically, no past. But the Knight of Wands is upright, there's immaturity. Yeah, someone is being immature, because they want to get what they want, in that perspective, and it doesn't work that way. It's basically how everything is kind of finicky. That's the way it kind of is, where you get what you want, you do what you're told to do, but then it's like, no, this is not going to end well, this is not going to work, this is not. Then when you do that, it's like, why I'm finding this solution, why I'm having a bad right or a bad outcome, or whatever. It is a foolish thing to do. And when things are going sideways or going south, or tasting like it's sour, like a candy, whatever it is, it's not going to be that way of saying, oh, well, this is just the way it goes, this is like less than more, this is the way it goes, or you having a misfortunate guidelines, or whatever it is. It's, you have your own main issue, your own way of saying, oh, well, this is not going to end well, this is not going to be how I need to be feeling like this. That's the way it kind of outcome is. Now I'm going to redo the Enchanted Mapp. And this is just going to be the end of the whole entire reading. I'm just going to say this, because you want to hear my beautiful voice. So let me read you this card here, and I'm going to read you this because I want you to hear my beautiful voice. Okay, beautiful voice. So let's see. 47, the Sacred Pool, but it's reversed, by the way, for 47. Like, that's very interesting. So let's see. Alright, so this is going to be interesting for this card here that I'm going to read you. And so for a Sacred Pool, it's reversed. It says, it can be difficult to overcome denial when there is a reward for staying where you are. If you can't accept and love yourself, you remain trapped, wearing a false mask or victimhood. The benefit of embracing denial and the victim's mask is that you never have to take a real risk. Dimming your light serves no one. Turning away from the truth, reflect in the stillness of the Sacred Pool keeps you in denial. Doing the same thing over and over again, such vain efforts lead to a tedious, boring existence. Take the risk and shine your beautiful light into the world. Look in the mirror and see the truth. Surrender the need to self-sabotage. Remember that you have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to the divine spark within you. Accept the discomfort of seeing with clear eyes. You will soon find that wondrous adventures are waiting for you. Step into your magical life. Take the leap of faith. That's the way it goes, right? So basically, when it says that, let's say, doing the same thing over and over again, like where you're in the sacred pool and you're and it keeps you in denial. It keeps doing that, right? And when you feel like you're in denial, right? And things are not going your way, or things not going as planned, and you think that why I'm having loneliness, why I can't take that risk, why I'm not feeling like that, because it's not going to work your way, and you have to be like that. If you're acting like you're being immature, if you're acting like where things are not going your way, why would you be accepting that? Like, why would you say, oh well, I'm being immature, I don't want to do it anymore, right? Or when you have like no independence, why you have no independence for? Like, why? That's the way, that's the reason I'm just going to tell you all, because that's why that this is just a general rating. It is, but based on that, based on how things are going to be doing, you have to do what you can, and you have to be who you are, accept on what you want and what you need, and you have to do exactly what you're told to do. Be responsible on how you're feeling. Be responsible how you can do that in one way or another, right? So before I let you all go, try and pay attention on whether things are going to go your way or not. But the way of how this is, you have to have your own strategy and do what you can and say, all right, well, this is the way it goes. I need to pay attention. And based on that, that's the way it goes. So you have to pay attention on how things are in that way, and you think, okay, well, this is the way it goes. So that's what I'm trying to get at. But that's the way it goes. So, this is beyond that way. This is the beyond of how it seems to be in that way. And you think that, okay, well, this is the way it is, and that's the way it seems to be. So, I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please give a comment, and, this is the way it seems to be. So, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now. Really. Bye.